Hey there, so today we have another review, and this is a beer from Lost Abbey. It's been a while since the Lost Abbey beer. And this is Track 8, so this is a strong ale, aged in bourbon barrels with cinnamon, raisins, and chilies. So this has been aged actually quite a while. I believe it's something like a handful of years, not a handful, a couple of years. It's been a while since I've actually had this one, so I reviewed this like, geez, 4 or 5 years ago. So 13%, really big beer. Quite nice. Let's see how this one turned out. Have it slightly cold, I will say that. I probably have this around 40 something, but we'll see how it warms up. A little bit, yeah, probably a little bit cold for a big beer like this, but yeah, quite nice. Let's dig into it. Beer comes in a medium to deep brown color, has a medium cocoa head kind of to it. I could already smell the light of bourbon character rising out of the glass into my nose. Here, it's got a little bit of oxidative quality from what I can smell. Yeah, spice. Yeah, a little bit of cinnamon. It's not that bright. Obviously, it's been there for aging a while. Those flavors sort of end up degrading with a little bit of time. I also get a little bit bright, peppery kind of thing. A little bit like ancho. They don't even say what chilies they use. Yeah. But it smells not like green, bright pepper, habanero, some of those other bigger beers and stouts that use brighter kind of chilies. Instead, this smells like not quite smoky, but like almost like dried peppers. I get a little bit of raisin character, but that could be just the base beer having those dark fruit notes, a lot of caramel, burnt sugar. Quite nice, yeah, and it has a vanilla thing going on. It's quite complex on the nose. Cheers. People complain sometimes to take small sips, and with a big beer like this, you really want to because it's such a boozy beer. Like, why would you want to like envelop your whole palate just in your mouth just laden with 30% beer? Instead, it's sort of like a wine. You know, you sort of take a little sip. You like you do the slurpy slurp, but I'm getting full experience here, especially with the carbonation. You don't always want to slurp you generally don't want to slurp your beers. The carbonation's there to sort of do that trick of adding kind of it moves the beer into your retronasal, right? Whereas you sort of have to slurp and offer oxygen to brighten up something like a wine. A beer, the CO2 is there to sort of release those aromatics into your palate. It's got that, not smoky, but earthy, aged kind of dried pepper kind of thing going on. Complements the cinnamon. There's a little bit of that kind of light, like really dehydrated raisiny tone, not a juicy sweet raisin, but really dried. So it has that like kind of dried fruit skin kind of thing going on. There's that base beer comes in. It's burnt sugar. It's rich. It's slightly, maybe a little bit roasty. Vanilla laden from the barrels. It is got a nice spike of booze character too. That barrel is, I'd say, medium plus integrated. It's not that huge, creamy, creme brulee, vanilla laden kind of barrel character. More it's towards that kind of mix of a little bit of like that kind of cinnamon, bourbon note, and apple pie spice. That's what I'm getting. There you go. So apple pie spice with a bourbon character. It's actually well integrated because you get the apple pie spice, you get the cinnamon, you get that sweet caramel thing from the bourbon, which plays into those sweeter notes from the base beer. That plays into that kind of complements those chili peppers. Plays into that cinnamon thing that is already in the beer. Plays with the dark fruit that's already coming from the base beer. Quite smart of a beer because all those flavors sort of like wrap around each other, sort of play with each other quite well. It's one of those flavor tones that sort of like integrate quite well. It is a big boozy one though. And then I also detect a little bit of that kind of like soy sauce kind of touch of oxidation, a little bit of that sherry kind of thing. Sherry is what I'm getting. There you go. And wow. Obviously, I think this would be great with some freshness to it, having those bright characteristics of the cinnamon and the chili sort of be a little bit brighter, but is aged into sort of what sort of seems like a spiced bourbon barrel aged quad is really what it sort of tastes like. A little bit of barley wine is life kind of thing going on here. 13%. It's a little bit dry, not that big, sweet stickiness going on. Pretty decent, yeah. Pretty, very good, actually. Let's go back to there. Very good. As for rating, let's go with a 90. It is a boozy one, though. Watch out. 93, track 8 from Lost Abbey. A fun one. The flavors have sort of integrated quite well with a little bit of age, but with this beer, I generally would recommend you have a little bit more fresh. I really would like to see where the chilies sort of jump up and the cinnamon sort of jumps up, but with the age on it, it's sort of gotten a little bit more dull, but that sort of works with the base beer quite well as well. So, well thought out beer, though. Really cool complexity of flavor and integration of flavor. Sort of these flavors sort of make sense. It might be a little bit out of balance if this beer is a little bit more fresh, but it is what it is, and this beer is quite good right now. Until next time, guys, cheers. Thank you, Josh, for dropping this one off. We ended up having it together when we were getting ready for the wedding and sharing a lot of beers, but quite delicious. Until next time, guys, cheers. Later.